What's up, guys? We are back here with episode 47, I believe, of the Let's Play series, and we are fully rested. We are better than yesterday. Way better. Well, I don't know if we can speak or not today, but we'll see. We'll see. So, obviously, opening up all the quests, we have some people that asked about land, which I thank you so much for asking about land. We have something to talk about that will help out other players as well. We're going to talk all about land in this episode as we do our basic quests. So, let's see here. Those are fine. Coin versus 20, that's the lowest. So we're just going to check on these. XP rank of only 30,000, so it doesn't matter if it's a high or low quest here because this is just the Arc Pass. And it's going to be really cool. Since we have all the quests unlocked now, we're actually going to gain 1 level a day if we do all these quests. So you can see we're at level 6, about halfway through. Yep, 3,000 to 6,000. So once we finish all these quests, we're going to go up to level 7, and we're going to be at 3,000. Now this is where it's important here, the daily quests. So we want high rank. Do we want to kill 300 monsters? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're in a questing area. We'll keep it at kill 300 monsters. We'll see if we can do this or not. I don't know how much time we're going to play today for, but yep. Okay, cool. So all that stuff is done. Let's keep on questing. And as we are questing, we should definitely radius invite to see if we can find anyone else to help us on our questing journey. Put out the pet. So this episode is dedicated to land. Land is the most important resource in Archeworld, and it hands down it will probably be the most important resources forever in Archeworld, because if you look at the white paper on archeworld.com, so the white paper, for those that aren't familiar, is pretty much like the gospel. It's like the Bible, what they're going to do, their plans, their roadmap for the game. And so they explain to you what they're what they're thinking in the white paper. This is all done before the launch of the game. This was their roadmap. This was their ideas, their concepts, what they expect for the game in the future. And so one of the very first things that they talked about is that land is the cornerstone of Archeworld. Land will always become valuable. They want to make sure that land always has value, always is needed. They said that it's going to be used for future crafts. So you're going to have a land to craft high-end materials and weapons and armors and things like that potentially. So we don't know that, what's coming, but we do know that there is more crafts and more recipes that are going to be needed in the houses. So right now there's only 2 things that you can use the house for. You can make labor potions and you can make Archeum bundles. So those are the only 2 things that are available in the house specifically. You can also plant crops in the house. So crops can be planted in the public farm, so a free-to-play player can plant crops and do things like that. But the only things that are exclusive to the house, to the land, is that ability to make labor potions and make Archeum bundles. And even the Archeum bundle is not exclusive to the land, because at level 55 you can actually make an Archeum bundle. So the only thing really is exclusive is the labor potions at the land. You do also get a sort of a passive regeneration of labor and Archeum at your land. So if you have land, it does nothing on its own. You also need to buy this blueprint. So you go over here to the shop and you pick up a blueprint based on the size of your land or based on how much money that you have available to you. So you want to start off with the tent, which is the small one, 150 BSLT. If you have a larger size land plot, then you can put down a small house, which is 410. And these things, you actually always get this back. So say you have a tent to start out with, and then you decide to upgrade to a bigger land, or you have more land and you have more BSLT and you're like, I like the game, I want to keep going and keep progressing. You can then take that tent design, so you can demolish your tent, you destroy your tent, and then you actually get all of your BSLT back when you demolish your tent. So you don't lose any of that BSLT. It's just it's a form of staking where you have to put some BSLT into the game and you stake it, and then now that unlocks these passive rewards. And you have to log in every either 6 hours or 12 hours to collect your labor from your bed, and also your Archeum from your Archeum machine. So a house, you can actually turn this game into a passive clicker, crypto game. Like, so if you're coming from the crypto world and you're coming from other games and you're like, man, this game's got too much stuff to do, I don't want to play this game, I just want to click and make money. Well, you can actually do that by buying a house. So you can buy the house NFT, and that means you will own the house, so you never have to pay rent again. Or there's the other option, is that you could rent the house in game. And renting, obviously, you're paying it monthly, so you get to rent it for 28 days. And then after the 28-day period is over, you then have to pay next month's rent. So if you plan on playing the game for any period of time, months, years, you definitely want to own the land NFT, because that way you'll save a ton of money and it will help you with your profits. If you are just trying the game out and you're like, I'm not sure if I like this game, I'm not sure if it's profitable, I don't know, if I want to stick with this or if I want to do this, try to rent it for the first month. The small land is currently 135 BSLT. They have been adjusting the land rental prices for the last couple of weeks, but I think we have finally got down to a point where it's set in stone almost for now. We haven't had many people talk about complaining. The land is almost filling up. Like, there's a lot of land that is just jam-packed. There's tons and tons of people that are renting and also have bought the land NFTs. There will also not be any more land NFT mints. All the land right now has been sold from XL Games. When they release new lands, we might get more mints, but that's going to be a new land. So if they open up, there is some land, some island land here in the islands. These are not available yet. No one owns this. So when they open this up, they might do a land mint as well. Or if they open up a new region, like on this side over here and other side over here, they might open up more land that is farmable, that you can put down your houses and your tents. And if they do that, they might also sell more land, but that's going to be the new land. They're never going to mint any more of the old land. They did currently just do a land NFT event, and so that's why we're super hyped on these guys. These Lucky Coin Purse rank 1, and there's Lucky Coin Purse rank 2, Lucky Coin Purse rank 3, and that is a way where you can get land NFTs, because they kept approximately 75% of the land for themselves. So they sold about 25%. It was supposed to be about 50% of the land that they were trying to sell, but they actually kept more than that. And then there's also more land spots in the game. And then the land didn't sell out when it first sold. So in the very, very beginning, when people were doing, the pre-sales for land and everything in Archeworld, there wasn't that much interest in the land. There was only about like 400, 500 people that actually bought land at the pre-sale before the server and launch was up. So there wasn't much, faith or belief in this game, in this system. And so this is why you also see that there was a dramatic increase in prices. So the land, like the small land, sold for, I believe it was approximately 300 clay. And then now, currently, the small land is around 2,000 clay. So you can see about a 6 to 7 times increase in price in just a matter of months. About 6-month period of time where that value just skyrocketed, because people now realize, like, hey, the game is fun, the game is cool, the game is really good for a crypto NFT game, like, and more people are playing and more people are interested in land. Like, we'll go into the land, into the farming areas over here, and we'll show you just like how full this area is with people that are planting, growing crops, building their houses and so forth. So there's a whole bunch of land. Like over here, this is all like land, and you just see your quests on the basic line, like line right here, this road. But over here, this is all just like land. And so if we go over here, we can take a look and see a lot of player houses and what's going on and how much, space is available. And another reason that XL Games also didn't sell all of them is because they wanted to be able to rent some out to other players. They didn't want to force you to buy a land to play this game. You don't necessarily need a land, right? But the whole goal of being a free-to-play player, in my opinion, should be to try and get land, because land has so much value So you can see some land over here, some people have built. So just at the basic numbers, it costs 135 BSLT to rent a land, a small house like this that you could put a tent on. And just by logging in twice a day, every 12 hours, you can make approximately 200 to 300 BSLT profit in that 28-day period, just by having a bed and just by having an Archeum machine. Wow, hey, this is actually the #1 player in the world's house right here. Look at this. We found Ganama's tent. So he actually comes over here and collects his Archeum and his tents, his labor. Wow, very, very cool. So we actually found a famous man's tent. So if we go over here in the rankings, this is the #1 player in the world. So he probably has a whole bunch of these though. And you also notice that he's too busy, you know, killing people and not worrying about planting crops or anything. Let's see. Does he actually own this one or is he renting? Yep, so he's renting this one. This is very interesting. So on this little sign, you can see if they own it or if they're renting it. So the NFT owner is XL Games. If he was the owner, it would actually show his wallet like ID right there, like who owns it. You can actually rent it from someone else. So if you are a land NFT owner, so this one is owned by XL Games as well, you can either use it yourself or you can rent it out to other players. You're not going to make much money. So here's the NFT owner right here. And so it's set to private, which generally means that this guy, Fox, this is going to be his wallet address right here. So you could click and copy and you can go find all his transactions and everything like that. You could also try to, communicate with him and see maybe you want to try and buy this land. But you see, he is actually farming. Look, he's actually got some really cool decorations up too. He made some of these fire torches. That's very cool. So there's so much customization, and he's building a wooden chair. But you notice all these little flagpoles. These are signifying the spots of the land. And you see this one's over here. So again, this is NFT owner, and this is a private. So this guy right here is generally going to be the owner of this land. So the main focus of the land is obviously to get down these beds and Archeum machines, but you can also plant a lot of crops. Unfortunately, the crops right now are not really worth much money. So in my opinion, it's actually not worthwhile to put these things down. Like, it's gonna take you a lot of time, and it's also gonna take you some labor. And it's just, to me, it's not worth it, the effort that you need to do. But to make money and make profit, it's simply put your bed down and put your Archeum machines down and log in every 12 hours. Click on a couple buttons, boom, 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 and you're off. Log back on every 12 hours. And you'll be able to make a good amount of profit on the small land. The amount of profit that you make actually decreases on the lands, the higher lands. So like the small land is actually the best right now, and then goes the medium, which is a little, second best, and then the large is the third best, and then all the way up to the mega, which is actually the worst if you are renting. If you own it, then you don't ever pay any taxes, so it doesn't really matter. But if you are renting, you want to rent a small land. You can also potentially rent from another player, and if you do rent from another player who owns the NFT, you will get a slight discount on the rent. So it's currently set at 100. So this one right here is NFT owned by this guy. Private, so it's probably owned by this guy Walker. But if this was available, we would be able to rent it for a total of 200 BSLT, and this is a medium-sized land. But you'll notice there's not that many open spots. So here's a couple of open spots, but in most of these spots you'll see that there is houses and there is people building and growing crops. Like, the majority of the land has actually been taken up, and this is what you see in most of the zones as well, and that gives you a really clear sense of the player population. And this is also right here is a large. So obviously people don't really want to rent larges because they're not profitable. in order to make the larges and mega profitable and the extra larges, you need to actually upgrade your Archeum machines and upgrade your beds, because that's the only benefit right now that you can actually get from having a larger size house. So the small tent can just hold a basic bed and a basic Archeum machine. As you upgrade, so this house right here can actually hold a rare bed and then a rare Archeum machine. So we take a look at this. It's probably the easiest to do. So bed right here. So you can only use this in a house that is this size or bigger. And then so the next one, so when you go up to the next level of house, you can use a rare bed, which is going to generate you more labor. But you see, it does cost a ton of resources to make this. So it's not something that is very simple or easy to do. You need to give them a rare bed, you need to give them a Shadowgun rare crystal, convert it all together with 100,000 Archeum, 2,000 labor, and then you turn it into a rare bed, and so forth. So going higher up, so this is for the extra large house or higher. And then all the way up at the mega house. So once a year or two has passed, some people might have actually have built heroic beds or heroic Archeum machines. And that's when the mega plots will actually start generating some money. But you first have to have built these beds and these Archeum machines at the heroic tier for the mega plot to actually be worth any money. Otherwise, if you are currently renting like an extra large, a large, or a mega, you're generally going to be losing money unless you're really, really good at farming and you're really just like, you know, getting lucky with the crops and selling them at perfect prices. But you're just way better off at the current stage of the game to rent a small or medium house and go from there. That's where the best profit is currently in the game. And we touched upon this in another video. You know, how much can labor potions and the Archeum drop down before it's not profitable to rent a land? And the answer is very surprising. It can go all the way down to 3 BSLT for labor potions, and then it can go all the way down to like 20 BSLT for 10,000 Archeum. So the prices are very, very high right now when you think about it that way. So the prices of labor is about 8 BSLT right now, and Archeum, the price of Archeum is about 55 BSLT right now for 10,000. So these prices can drop over 50% and it still be really like profitable to actually rent land. And so that's also why you're seeing that so many of the land plots have been rented and are being, you know, occupied by players, because it is very, very profitable. You know, my main account, I think we have about 10 lands, and you can only actually rent one land from XL Games. All the other lands, you have to either own yourself, you have to own the NFTs, or you have to find a player that does own the NFT and then rent it from that player. So we got, you know, incredibly lucky, quote unquote, for finding a bunch of land that was player owned that we were able to rent. And I say lucky with quotes involved there, because after 7 days or 14 days of the owner of the NFT not using the land, that land will go into public. And so what they did was, in the very beginning of the server, there was a bunch of people that were not using their NFTs, and the game company's like, well, we're actually going to just convert them all over right now. Like, we were going to do it in 14 days, but we're going to convert it now in like 6 days, because we want people to use the land, we want people to, you know, interact, and we want the world to feel alive, right? So when they did that, there was known a land rush, which means all the lands that were set to private now just flipped over to public. And so as soon as the maintenance ended, you had people running around to all those private lands and then renting them, because now they were set to public and anyone that went there could actually rent them. So that's how we end up getting about, you know, 5 or 6 of our lands at a cheaper discounted rates, is because of the land rush. So land rush is the most important thing early on in the game. Just like in the original Arc Age game, land rush is very, very important. So if you have any other questions about land, please drop them down below. I think I've covered almost everything on the land. In the future, they do expect the NFT owners to actually be able to set the price that they want to rent the land for. Currently, the land is all set to the exact same price. So if you own a small land, you can only rent it for 100 BSLT. If you own a medium land, you can only rent it for 200 BSLT. You cannot change that. But in the future, they're going to let people change and rent whatever they want. But again, if you own a small or medium or even large, you should just be using that and producing labor and Archeum every single day to either play the game or to simply sell. And personally, I think that you should be selling this stuff right now because we're still in the early stages of this game. And a lot of these resources are still going down and down and down and down in value. Currently, we did see a massive spike in labor price because of this land NFT event. So the labor potions, we're getting very, very close to about 5 BSLT for one labor potion. But then they started this event and you needed a lot of labor to actually open up these lucky coin purses. So that skyrocketed the labor price. The labor price went all the way up to 25 BSLT at the highest. Maybe a little bit higher as well. So some lucky souls got 25 BSLT for their labor pot that was worth 5 BSLT the prior day. That is pretty crazy right there. Obviously, most people did not get that. Some people got 15, some people got 20 BSLT. But yes, the price is definitely skyrocketing. And now, as this event is coming down to an end, we got about 2 days left. The prices of the labor pot is slowly going back down to where it was at that 5 BSLT. And then after this event, the labor pot price will probably decrease even further because there's now more people that own land thanks to this event. And more people will probably be making those labor potions and trying to sell them and trying to make some profit off of this. Next up, there is another set of land that is coming very, very soon. So it's coming within the next 2 months or so. We don't know the exact time frame, but it is known as Aqua Land or Marine Land. And so this is land, as it says, is on the water. So this is really, really cool land. So obviously, right now we have just land, but there's all this coastal area. And so some of these actually have spots for houses where you can build houses and own a water marine house. So the speculation is coming that these houses are going to be where you build and upgrade your boats, because there are boats. If you haven't seen it, go check out Arc Age and then boats and warships and stuff like that, clippers. You'll see a ton of videos on the boats of this game, and there's so much customization that you can do for boats, like sails, cannons, rudders, and so forth. So many different things. So if those things are all tied to the marina housing, the aqua houses, those houses could be very, very expensive and very, very valuable. Because, I mean, who doesn't want to own a big giant boat or galleon? And especially, too, if you need to have one of those to get some, mega rewards from these raid bosses. Because there's a lot of super bosses in the ocean. So things like Kraken, things like Leviathan, you have ghost ships as well. These things are all in the prior versions of this game. And you can see it's really, really cool content. So a lot of people are super excited for that. And then also, when they do release like the oceans, we're speculating that the trade pack system will actually become more important. So trade pack is where you have a backpack on your character, and your character is carrying some kind of goods, whether it be like 1,000 flowers or 1,000 lumber or 1,000 whatever, like a lot of stuff, right? So you're carrying resources. And then if someone kills you, that backpack actually just drops to the ground and someone else can take it. So it's a way that encourages, working together as groups or friends, guilds, to transport goods, and it gives PvP more reason to happen. Because right now there's no reason to actually PvP, right? So this is a trade back. We actually got one right now. So if someone wanted to, they could come and kill us, and then this would just drop and be on the ground and anyone could pick it up. So then people will pick it up and they're trying to take it to a certain location. They're trying to take it to an NPC, or to try to take it to a house, or trying to take it to a boat, and to use those resources that are in this backpack. When you are carrying a trait pack, you are a little bit slower as well than normal. So you walk slow, you're a sitting duck almost for other people to try and kill you. And yeah, you have to defend your trait pack. So you either got to be strong enough on your own, or work as a group, a guild, friends together. But there's so many cool things, the systems that are coming to this game. And that's also why, like, if you've played the prior version, this feels like there's nothing here. There's nothing to do, right? Because a lot of the systems aren't in place yet. But for someone coming from a crypto NFT world, this game is just mind-blowing. There's so many different features and content, things to learn. And someone asked too, it's like, why are you playing only 1 hour? You know, why are you going so slow leveling up? Well, a lot of people, I think, will actually be playing this game, you know, on the slower side. Like, people, of course, do spend, 8 hours a day playing nonstop, video games, right? But not everyone can do that. A lot more people only have 2 to 3 hours, maybe a day, to, interact and play a video game. So by showing off in the Let's Play series, hey, this is how you can earn money. This is how you can play this game 100% free to play by only doing about an hour a day. It shows that anyone can really play Archeworld and actually enjoy this content and earn money at the same time. Granted, we're not making a ton of money, right? I've always said that you want to start this game out, you try it out, and then you see, like, if it's for you, then just simply buy the starter package. Like, we have currently about 55 BSLT, but you could have just bypassed all that. So you could have bypassed all this work that we did for the first month of the Let's Play series by simply putting $30 on the website, archeworld.com, buying the starter package. You would have got 60 BSLT, and you would have been able to have a way better start than us. Like, your progress would have been so much faster. But if you are a free-to-play player, this is part of the fun, this is part of the journey, and you're also way better off. So if you're doing this and if you're following the series, you know so many more things than someone who's just jumping in the game and just rushing their leveling up, and then they get to the end game and they have like no idea what to do. They're like, hey, how do I get labor? How do I do this? What do I spend my labor on? Like, by learning the game slowly but surely, you're actually giving yourself a better chance to succeed, in my opinion, in the future, rather than just starting the game and throwing like, $50 at it or $60 at it. Be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna dominate. Because if you start the game like that and you don't learn the basics of how to play, how to make money on your own, you're always going to think that the only way to make BSLT or to earn BSLT in game is by simply putting money into the game and buying it. But once you've actually learned and understand how you can buy and sell items, how you can craft things, how you make BSLT, how you earn it in game by playing the game, you can actually then repeat that process over the course of days and months and weeks and years, and earn it without ever having to pay any money to the game. So it's the whole analogy of like, you're learning how to fish rather than someone just giving you a fish and having like, here's your dinner. Like, so teaching someone how to fish is way more valuable and more beneficial to that person than just someone giving you the dinner and be like, here you go, here's food. Because you're actually learning how to do all this stuff on your own. So that is the main reasons of why we have done this series, why we have also, gone really slow. So, definitely appreciate all the comments, all the feedback and everything. Obviously, we're not perfect. We're not playing it on a perfect game. We're just, making mistakes or going along with things, testing stuff out, showing off different things. Like, we're not trying to be the perfect guide or tutorial. And as you notice, by selling items on the auction house, whenever you talk about something or show it off or show like, hey, this is how you make money, then other people come in and do it too. And so it becomes harder, and you're all competing over the same sales of that item. For example, like right now, we've got, what do we have? 3.3 BSLT, so it looks like our item actually sold. Let's see here. Yep, so our item sold. we can check on the price of the finishing touches to see if they've gone up. So they've actually gone down by 0.1 BSLT, but it's still very, very profitable. A lot more did sell yesterday, 54, excuse my hiccups. And we'll probably try to make some more of these. We don't have much BSLT, so we have to be very cautious again with what we're spending. And we'll probably have to sell some other items before we can make finishing touches once again, because we're low on resources. We only got 6 sap, it looks like there, 34 of the mineral crystal, and it looks like we're completely out of the other resource. So another thing too is once you have a trade pack, your glider goes off of your character. So our glider is now in our inventory, and we have to re-equip our glider. So that's something that they don't really tell you, and it's kind of like instinctive. Like if something else is on your backpack, your glider cannot be there. So make sure that you re-equip your glider once you do carry a trade pack or any kind of resource like that, because your glider will actually just be sitting into your backpack and you will not be able to glide. So unfortunately, we haven't been able to find anyone to help join our party, which really sucks. So we've been slowly killing mobs. We've only killed about 29 mobs right now. We have finished all of the XP quests by now for sure. Like there's no way that we haven't finished our XP quests. And so all we have to do is kill monsters. And look, we've got that. So that right there, boom, level 7. We get some more labor, get some more archeum. And next up we have coin purses and labor and synthesis to do. But you notice we're actually leveling really quickly now. We're up to level 44 already, because by simply doing these quests, you get a ton of EXP. So tons and tons of EXP. And if we wanted to, and if we had more people, we would actually be able to get the bonus kill mob quest. But since there's no one else here, we don't really want to just, endlessly farm these guys over here. It's just like, they're boring. I don't want to kill you. We're just moving on to the next quest, because the next quest will give us another 5,000 or 6,000 XP, which is a lot better. But if you have a bunch of people, if you have a party, if you have a raid, you'll actually get the bonus hidden quest, and you'll gain a bunch more EXP for that. And things will just flow so much easier. So when you are playing Archeworld, always join party, always join raid, and always, group up with people. Become friendly. Talk, chat, interact with other people. That will greatly increase your gameplay experience in this game, and you'll actually meet some friends. You have to be careful though. Some people will obviously try to scam you and take advantage of you. So, just keep your guard up slightly with anyone that you do meet and interact with. Thankfully, you can't really trade items in this game, so you can't really get scammed in that way. Alright, so let's end up finishing this quest, and then we will head back to our farming area, grab our crops, and do some crafting, and then we will call it a day for this episode. Much love to everyone that is watching. Thank you, as always, for checking out the Let's Play series. If you have any tips or tricks, please post them down below. That helps out not only me, because obviously I don't know everything. The Shift P, the mailbox, hey, something new. Obviously I knew about this, like the convenience thing has been here forever, right? But I just never kind of put it together in my head. And so just like someone telling you, hey, push Shift P, like Shift P, and it'll open up your mailbox. You can grab it wherever you are. You don't need to go to the mailbox. So that's a huge, huge help that I knew about, but I never did. And so then I forgot about it. It's like, whoa, yeah, that's cool. So obviously, even if things are so simple and basic and you're just like, everyone knows that. Well, just be nice and let people know. Be like, some people don't know about it. Like, again, I didn't know about the mailbox, and I've been playing this game for 10 years. Granted, I knew about it at one point and then just forgot about it. Like, people forget about things. Is that a person? It's a person. But he's rushing the green quest, it looks like. So we will head off to our crops now. And then let's circle back to land and the aqua and marine land. So there is rumors going around that the aqua and marine land will actually be minted and sold by XL Games, just like they did with the basic land. So the rumor goes that they're going to do exactly what they did and sell it, and the fandom card NFT holders are actually going to have first dibs on all these lands at a cheaper price. Again, this is just purely a rumor, but this also makes sense. And this also, when you look at the fandom NFT cards, you can see they're about $200, and they haven't really gone down in value. They're about 1,100, 1,200, 1,300 clay, which you would think they would go down because they had no use. They literally do nothing right now. They're just NFTs that are pictures of characters. But people are speculating that they're actually going to have usage in the future for the Aqua Marina houses and land minting. We also do know that in the future they will be used for the USA launch, America launch, which is scheduled for Q1 2023, and they will also be used again for a European launch, which is sometime in it was supposed to be Q1 2023 as well, but since America got delayed, most likely that means that Europe is also going to get delayed. So America was originally supposed to come out at the end of this year, Q4 2022, and then it got delayed to Q1 2023. So it got pushed back somewhere between those 3 months. My guess is that we'll see the launch of the American server around January. That's my guess. And then, so of course, before then, they have to sell the land NFTs. So you'll be able to see those and potentially get some very, very cheap land from the land mint when they do sell them. All right, let's check out all these prices. 0.2. So these are really bad right now. Fabric and skin is really, really bad price. Lumber is really low as well. 0.075. Very, very bad. And then we have the ore, which is actually the best one, but it's still really bad. Very, 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 very bad. You don't really want to do that. Let's see. The crystal here, 0.04. We already have enough of those, though. Sap is down to 0.04. And then, what's the last one that we need? Soil? Soil. Oh, yeah, soil is really cheap. So we can pick up a bunch of soil here. We actually have that much BSLT. Do we have enough? We need sap now. So we need 11 more sap, and then we could make a finishing touch. So we could actually buy this one right here. And we'd be able to make another finishing touches. Alright, so we bought those. Let's go use our Archeum. And we also have a ton of Archeum now. Look at this. We're up to 3,700 in Archeum, and that's all because of this Arc Pass that we're getting tons and tons of Archeum. So that's how you progress and level up your gear after Tier 4. Let's go see about the Shadowgun Orb. So we can actually craft 6 Shadowguns. I don't think we want to craft 6. We're going to go craft 1 just to get a little bit of BSLT. And we're going to go sell this. So it's currently at 0.30. Let's just make sure that's correct. Yep, it's about correct. We could do it to 0.31. Let's do it 0.31. That's not the best conversion. So obviously the finishing touches is way better conversion for us. Oh, 2 more skill nodes. Let's go gather our crops. We haven't done that yet. And then we'll go make the finishing touches. Do we need any more of those? We actually do. We need to change over to meat. I think meat. And we have meat. We have those. Grain. We've got grain. Alright, so what should we change over to? Do we want trees? Oh, we actually can make 2 finishing touches, it looks like. Very nice. Let's see, so I just want a different material, because, okay, let's get the meat one. So we're gonna go grab these. Gotta make sure that it's the right temperature, so it's Yada. So we're in a dry climate, so we need to grab the Yada pens. So we'll grab 12 of those. Just so we can keep our resources up here, because those are used in for those daily quests. and we don't want to spend any more BSLT to like buy those. There's also a couple other crafting recipes that we could look into. I'm not going to do it right now, but there's also like buffs, and some of those might actually be worthwhile. So just get familiar with the folio. Press O and you can bring up the folio, and this will tell you all the items and all the things in the game and show you all the crafting recipes. We've touched on that in other videos as well, so you know that is very, very important, making yourself familiar with the folio so you can know what are the crafting recipes, so you know what items that are, you know, needed and in demand. All right, so those are done. And so too, at this point, like we're building up tons and tons of Archeum that we might actually be able to sell it eventually at one point to get some more BSLT. You can sell them in bundles of 5,000 or 10,000. We do need to be level 55 to get to that crafting machine, but that is definitely a way to make some BSLT. If you haven't, you know, got all of your BSLT, if you haven't got your like 300 BSLT by level 55 yet, you probably will end up having enough Archeum to actually sell by that point. If you follow the tips and tricks of this channel, like, you know, getting the Arc Pass, progressing through that, saving up the rest of your resources. So something else too, we haven't decided whether we're going to, you know, end this challenge a little bit earlier or if we're just going to keep going. .8. All right, so we're going to put it at 2.8. We don't need to necessarily undercut. 2.8 is a solid price. It should actually list and be up first on here. This is generally how the auction house works. The most recent one that has been listed will get listed first, so you can see these ones were listed soonest, so they have 21 hours left. The older ones are listed down here. Granted, they are a little bit more expensive too. All right, so let's open up some of these lucky coin purses. We do have a bunch of labor, but we do need to finish up these other quests as well. We'll come back and do these guys later. Synthesize item and open coin purses. Let's just do the coin purse now. Unfortunately, opening up the lucky coin purse does not count for this mission, so that really sucks. So we got to open up some basic coin purses. So we got to open up 20 nobles. Oh, someone just shouted in chat. Did they get a land NFT? Nope, doesn't look like it. So as always, if you guys have any questions, please drop them down below. Love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. All the comments and questions like that, it definitely helps the channel. It helps the channel grow. It helps promote the game as well, which in turn is, if you're playing this game, you want the game to succeed. You don't want to be, you don't want the game to die if you're playing it, right? So by any kind of support showing, watching streams, watching videos, making videos, posting comments, interacting with the community, all that stuff, you're actually helping the game. All right, synthesize. Just do this real quick. Let's open up 24 of these ones because you guys have been waiting so patiently for us to open these things. Let's see if we can get really lucky and get this land NFT today. Hey, we got 34 Archeum. Not bad. Hit a mini jackpot. So So even though we right-clicked on the 23, it's opening from the 100 stack, so. Gotta do some math here. Let's see, so 100 minus 23, that goes down to 77. Alright, so we got 2 more to open. Alright, there we go, nothing. We did get that mini jackpot there though, that like 36. Alright, so that is all done. Let's go and open up our gear. Let's continue on upgrading this. And we'll come back later today, hopefully to do kill quests. Actually, we can re-roll this quest. We can get a lower one. So, if I remember correctly, 10. 10 is possible. Hey, there we go, 10. So right there we just saved 10 labor points. Alright, all done. And if we go back in here, you can see we're at level 7, halfway done. So like we said, we gained 1 full level now by doing all of these quests. And it's very, very cool. So we're going to finish this Arc Pass in just a couple of days now. And once you finish it, you cannot do this anymore. But there are several different ones. Unfortunately, these other ones do cost 1,000 BSLT, so we cannot afford these guys. So we do have to hope that they do bring out another cheap Arc Pass like this that only costs 50. If not, then we will just be, progressing without the Arc Pass once again. Anyway, guys, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, as always. Make sure you hit that like button if you're still here. Drop a comment if you are still here, too. I'd love to hear from you, even if it's just a hi or like, thanks or anything, any random comment, even if it's just an I or F or P or Q or anything. Drop it down there. Let me know if you've got that land NFT. That is a jackpot drop. Definitely really happy for everyone that has succeeded and gotten those things in this event. Great event, I think. Hopefully they do this kind of event again with different lands in the future. I would also really personally prefer that they release the Aqua Marina houses this way rather than a direct sale. But obviously a direct sale, the game company makes money off of that, so that's probably going to be the reason that they do the direct sale. Or if they just give them out for free, then they don't actually make money off of the sale. They will still make money off of the secondary transactions, so every sale that is done on the OpenSea network and other networks that they're using, they do get a cut of that sale. So they do make some money, but obviously they would like to get the sale money when they release the items, and use that money to help promote the game and keep the servers up and running and everything like that, develop content. Anyway, so I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.